In 2023, just before the Board of Aldermen reduced down to 14 wards, the Board of Aldermen voted to double the salaries from around 37,000 to about 73,000 today. Perhaps unintentionally, the board doubled the filing fee too, because the ordinance stated that the filing fee is equal to 1% of the salary for the office. So today the filing fee is over $700 for alderperson, and that's more than any other office in the state or region. So that's what this bill is trying to address today. Your income shouldn't determine your eligibility for office. You shouldn't have to pay more to file just because you're running for office in the city of St. Louis. Last year, we had 7 alder seats up for re-election, and 3 of them went unchallenged. If we want our representatives to be truly representative, someone of low income should have the ability to run for office as the same as someone with more means to do so. With that, I'll just address what this bill does. So this changes the filing fee for alders down to $100 from 1% of the salary today, which is currently 700 plus. It changes the filing fee for citywide elected officials down to $250, down from, again, 1% of their salary, which is in excess of $800. It cleans up language regarding political parties just to reflect what we currently do. This isn't changing what we're doing right now. It's just simply cleaning up the language to reflect what we are doing. And it also clarifies that the money goes to the general fund, which again has been happening since 2021.
The mayor's office is very supportive of this. We see this as a pretty simple fix with a pretty substantially broad, positive, and smart impact that is commensurate with other jurisdictions. As Alderman mentioned, this is not money that is a sum of money that is dependent upon in the annual budget. It's based upon the number of folks who file every single year. So we would not be shortchanging anything that is completely and totally relied upon in a consistent way by our Board of Elections with this. And we also, in our office, really appreciate that, the preservation of that signature requirement, that ability to get out and about in the community, talk with your neighbors, talk with the people that you hope to represent, and really get out there and demonstrate, that commitment to the community that way. So, again, we think this is a pretty smart update. We think it is, again, fairly simple, but with big impact. And we do appreciate that it sort of brings the city in line with other jurisdictions and that it does all this in a way that doesn't harm our Board of Elections, harm any other election-related processes within the city. So we just wanted to weigh in and express our support for it. And
I'm not really in favor of this right now. I think if we're gonna open this up, we need to really look at cleaning up the mess that Prop D caused. If candidates had to pay personally for these filing fees, I'd be lining up behind this. But filing fees you can pay with your campaign account if you would like, if a candidate would like, and if you can't raise $750. I don't think that you're probably a viable candidate. If we're talking about getting rid of barriers to entry, the signature requirement is a much stricter barrier to entry than funds that can be raised through a campaign account. I can't imagine in a high turnout ward being elderly or disabled and trying to get all the signatures that you need to get on the ballot in timely fashion.
On this, I think it's a pretty, common sense kind of cleanup bill. I do know that a lot of folks, especially first-time candidates, pay for their filing fees out of their own pocket. Because a lot of times you are filing for office, creating your campaign committee at the exact same time. You are maybe just starting to lean on family and friends to, give some donations and things like that. And I don't like the idea of having money being a barrier to ballot access.
There was a note that said fiscal impact on the election board as far as, we don't collect those fees. Those fees go to general revenue already. So I think this bill kind of clarifies that. you know, although I've not heard anecdotally from any candidates of this being a bar as far as like what the fee is, I think this bill does put the filing fee in line with other offices, and simply, you know, that's all I can say from my end.